3 months later.
And we back. All right, YouTube. So let's start off with some apologies. Sorry about that 3-month hiatus. We know, work got crazy, life got crazy, but we're back. And I'm pretty excited about something, this new playlist or new type of video I'm going to start doing. I think it's going to be cool. My friends thought it'd be kind of a fun idea, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing it whether you like it or not. So we're going to be doing a, logo design for the fictional companies and fictional ideas that people come up with in TV shows. So this first one for this week is from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Charles Boyle had a crazy idea that him and Jake were going to start a bowling alley, and so my logo design that I did for this week was what that bowling alley name was called, and we're going to go ahead and drop right in. I'm going to kind of talk you through how I came up with what I did, so let's see what goes happen. Just wanted to do a quick thank you for those of you who decided to come back, those of you who are sticking around after the long break, and for those of you who are new and coming into the channel to see what I'm making from here on out. So with that done, don't forget to go ahead and like and subscribe down below. Keep up with my content. I'm hoping to be more active and get back into weekly videos, or trying to get more content out to you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and roll the intro. Okay, so obviously you can see I'm starting off here. This is what the name of the Charles and Jake's bowling alley would be called. He's calling it Finger Holes because we all know the wild and wacky Charles Boyle is all about his sexual innuendos. And so when I was hopping into this design, I'm thinking, okay, cool. What does Charles Boyle think like? How would he have designed this name or this logo or whatever, what would his thought process be? So I'm thinking, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to need some kind of text, right? I'm going to need the logo to be spelled out somehow because you can't just have nothing up there. All right, so went with finger holes, went with the capital F and the capital H and kind of broke them apart because I don't really know how you would spell finger holes. I don't think that's an actual word. I don't know if you can put that together. So you'll start seeing me with some different type choices that I wanted to try. But then this idea popped into my head. I'm like, oh crap! So when you hold the bowling ball, you got the 3 finger holes. You got the 2 on top, and you got the 1 on the bottom, right? So I just started putting my hand into those finger holes, right? And I'm like, well, if you line it up just right, you got the kind of looks like an F, here and there. So I took some photos of my hands. Everyone can see my lightning finger. And so I put my fingers into that formation and took a picture, and I'm going to go ahead and trace those out because that gave me the idea of the F in finger holes. And I thought it was a cool idea of how it looked like you were, you're going to throw the bowling ball and you'll get that'll be the front of the logo. That'll be the lead in for the design. So here you just see me doing a quick trace. You don't gotta be neat with it because once you get you can do like a clunky trace, just click, 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 and then you can go back and you can smooth it, and it'll look a lot more natural than if you were trying to slowly trace and pull the curves and all that stuff. So I went with that, just real quick, click all the way around the outside of the hand. I don't know why I took 2 photos. I think that I thought they looked different, but I ended up only using the first one that I took because it just seemed to be easier that way. So as you see here, what I went back and did is once I got the full outline done, you do the little smooth tool. It looks like a little spiral pencil kind of thing, and you just drag it around the curves. So basically, where you would have had point, 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 and it's real sharp and real jagged. If you just drag and you follow the path of your hand or the path of whatever you're trying to smooth it down to, it'll start to hug that. And it'll just be a cleaner curve, less of a jagged, pointed edge. And then, so here I am just picking out skin tone colors, just trying to get, you know, what looks like a normal skin tone for me, what kind of matched my hand, but still could stand out. Like if you know, you can't use an actual color for like my super pale skin, because if you try to put that on any type of mock-up or any type of, you know, if you were to make it real, you couldn't use those colors because they're not saturated enough. They're too bright. So yeah, so here are my thoughts for different fonts, right? I got bowling alley, I got, you know, kind of like nightlife, neon type of thing, because usually people go out and they do bowling at night. And then I just got like, I wanted like, okay, cool, like a groovy vibe, right? So you figure, I don't know, I thought bowling alley with like their weird pinup shirts and things like that. It just, I had this idea of like a groovy vibe. So I got, first one has like a neon feel with everything linked together. You know, kind of all stuck together like it was, if it was neon lights. Second one is that kind of groovy-esque, you know, I don't know why I felt like that one fit, but I tried it. And then I think this one I'm going with is just something simple, just, you know, real geometric, because I figured the other, I tried two ideas. I tried the handhold F for one of the logos, and I tried one that was just a, what do you call it? Mix of type and picture. So basically the image becomes part of the logo. So I'm looking for something just simple and geometric to be able to fit in with the round, you know, round aesthetic of a bowling ball, and, you know, just kind of doing that. So I got that one, and I think I tried one or two other ones that are also simple geometric ones, just to have some options, because I gotta have options. Can't just give me one type and hope it works. So, you know, I tried a couple of these out just to see what they look like. Okay, yeah, so there we go. I got my all my type choices figured out, ones that I wanted to try, ones I wanted to look at. So here I am just cleaning up my artboard so I have something to work with, have room. And now what you see me doing here is, if you right click and you scroll down the menu bar, there's create outlines. It turns your text, so instead of being able to like edit it and change the type, it becomes a shape, and it makes it easier to work with for like logo design. So like if you're trying to scale up your designs once you get them put together, if you left it as type, you'd have to like change the type, and you have to go back and make sure everything kind of worked together. This way it's just a shape. You can do a lot more editing with it. You can do a lot more finagling, and putting things together to make them look better. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm just getting rid of the F on some of the ones that I want to try with the original hand design, because, you know, I have the two choices I want to work with. I want to do the hand as the F, and then I want to do the geometric kind of type with some bowling inserts in it. So some of the ones I got rid of the F is because I want to try those with the original, or the first design I went with. Boom, F gone. Boom, F gone again. So I got rid of all of them, I think, on this one just to try it, because I can always just duplicate it over and over again as many times as you want, just to try them all out. This one had a weird diamond for the dot of the I instead of a circle. Didn't like that, and obviously I works without it because people do it all the time. So I got rid of the I on that one. So with it being, if you left it as type, you couldn't do that, because it's not going to, you can't edit individual things in type like that. So once I took it into a shape, I can edit it as freely as I want, as much as I want. And so I could get rid of that little dot on the eye. So here I am. I'm just going to duplicate out, make sure that that shape of the hand is all one piece. So basically I had it, you know, traced individual fingers. I had the arm color traced. So now I'm just putting it together so that it's one group. And so if I go to pull one of them and scale it, it's going to scale the whole thing instead of just pulling that one corner. And then I'm just lining them up. So I'm thinking, all right, cool. So if the F of the fingers is the bottom of the word, I want to line up the type as close as I can to the bottom of that, and just seeing which one I think looks best or looks funniest. In the case of this design, I'm kind of thinking, what would Charles Boyle do? Or what would Charles Boyle pick for a logo? And if any of you haven't watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I highly recommend it. It's hilarious. I have seen it way too many times. It is an unhealthy amount of times, but it's hilarious. And I still laugh at jokes every time I watch it. And that's, I don't know, 50 times probably that I've seen the show. So yeah, go watch it. Go see what I'm talking about. You can see this made up company that they mentioned, and I'll do some other. I'm definitely gonna do some more because I had a lot of fun with this one. And there's just so many ideas that they have in Brooklyn, and they say stupid things that sound funny, or they have made up names. Especially Gina. Gina is a wacky person. I don't even know how to. She's eccentric. She's got tons of ideas, and so I'm probably gonna do quite a few with her. But here I am. So I got this one all laid out right, and I'm using the skin tone from my fingers because I figured Charles Boyle doesn't realize he's being sexual when he talks, and he doesn't realize he's saying these creepy things. And so I'm thinking he wouldn't realize that using skin tone for your logo is a bad idea. And, I'm trying to just think of, like, what would Charles think would look good? So he would obviously think, oh, if my hand color is the whole thing, that would make sense. So obviously any of my friends who watch this, or if you're designers, I know that skin tone logo types is not a good color, and it would not work. But it looks okay. It looks kind of funny for the idea of the bowling alley. And so this second idea I'm trying here is a little bit normal of an idea, right? So, you got the bowling pins, and they got those stripes across the part where it curves in. So I just did 2 stripes, and I'm going to run it across the length of the type that's not my hand, just to see how that looks. I don't think I end up keeping it because it's, with all the letters being so different in heights and in weights and in the looks, it's hard to keep the consistency of the red line, because like if it was the same all the way across, you keep the height all the same, but when you go to cut it out, some letters are going to have more red, some are going to have less red. So I think I get rid of this one just because I didn't think it looked good. I didn't like it. And the other idea was just funnier to leave it with the tan because, who wouldn't want a skin colored logo? I do like this last type here, though. I think it'd be fun to try it on something else. Obviously not related to this project with the finger holes bowling alley, but I think it's a cool looking type. It's got some cool shapes in it. So maybe I'll try that one out. At some other point on something else. You never know. Okay, so here I am. What I did here is once you make it a shape, if you overlay the 2 shapes and you highlight both of them, you can use the shape builder tool. And if you just drag through them, normally it's just going to add them together. It's going to combine the shapes together. What I'm doing is if you hold Alt on a Windows computer, it'll turn it negative, meaning it's going to subtract the items. And then once you drag it through whatever shapes are overhanging, it's going to cut those out and basically delete them. So that's what I'm doing here, just making sure that you only see the red stripes over the words, not behind the words or in between the letters. And, just a cleaner look. So yeah, that was that one. So I got 2 ideas. I got the finger holes skin colored. I got the finger holes bowling pin-esque look. And then the last one I went with, remember we went with the geometric idea with some bowling added into it. So I got on here. I think I changed the font. I think one of the ones I looked at I didn't like, or I thought I could find a better one that was more of a better look for the idea of the bowling alley with the geometric. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did there, guys. I made it red for a second. Yeah, there you go. Find the font you want. Yeah, see, okay, so I go back in here and I'm trying to find one that I think looks better, because there was, when I was scrolling through originally trying to find some, I was torn between a couple, so I think I was going back and trying to find one that I thought was more of a geometric base, where like you could tell more of the shapes had that geometric starting point to them, and then just beefed it up a little bit, because I didn't like a thin one for a logo for the bowling alley, so I wanted to try and find something a bit thicker with more of a character to it. And I do like this one, so when this one comes together in a second, you're going to see it. So here's my idea, right? You got the word holes and finger holes has the circle for the O. Bowling ball, right? Obviously, you don't have to change much. It's already there. It's already got the shape. And then it's the O leads into the L. So I'm thinking, cool. So it's a bowling ball rolling into a pin, and you can leave it all in the same, like the same line as the type, and it still gives you the idea of the word finger holes, and it still looks good. Here I am trying to create a bowling pin from scratch. Let me tell you, I haven't seen one in a while, and it's tricky. It's a hard thing to try to come up with. I did not do a good job. Eventually, I just went and got a photo of one and traced out the photo because mine were bad. Let me tell you, you can see them here. Watch this guy. This is like half penguin, half bowling ball, half freaking eggplant. I don't know what happened here. But yeah, I didn't realize creating a bowling pin from scratch was so tricky. I think I tried it 2 or 3 times before I realized. I was like, you know what, this is stupid. Just go get a bowling pin off the internet. There's thousands of them out there for you to use. So yeah, here I am. Click, trace, make a bowling pin. Ooh, see, look how rough that is. Is that a bowling pin, guys? Let me know in the comments. Do you think that's a bowling pin? That ain't a bowling pin. More chess piece, maybe. Maybe it was a chess piece. I don't know. Alright, round 2. Dose. Number try. See here, try again. Gotta have that round top. We know the top's round. We get that, but I think the point that was hardest for me was the neck. So it's like, how long is the neck of the pin before you get to the bottom? And like when you get to the bottom, how quickly does it curve out and how quickly does it, thin up? Tried making it again. This one was a little better. It's still that I don't think that it's not tall enough. Doesn't it looks more like a bottle of some kind, I think, than it would a bowling pin. But we gave it the old college try, guys. We put it together. We were like, you know what? We're not good at drawing bowling pins. That looks like a piece from Sorry. If you ever played the game Sorry, looks like a board game piece from Sorry. And I'm sorry for making these bad jokes. So I tried to smooth it out just to see. Then I was like, scrap it. Go get that photo. Boom. See, guys, mine was nowhere close to that. Look at that. Yeah. See. So what I did here, I just traced half of it. Just got one side of it, because once you get one side, you can just do a flip function, flip it, and then you got the other side. And that way you're not having to trace the whole thing. It saves you, the extra, on this case, 30 seconds probably to trace the next side. But that's what I do. That's how I like to do things. Boom. Look at that. That's so much better than the crap I was coming up with. See, I fattened up a little bit, though, because I didn't like how thin mine came out when I traced it. And I wanted a little bit more weight to the bowling ball because I used a thicker type. And if I had that thinner one, I didn't like the way it looked. Got the red stripes back. We all saw those earlier from the top. Got the red stripes back. It's a mighty fine looking bowling pin. And so here I am. I just lined it up with the current L of how it is. Even though the L is italicized, I was like, all right, so if I lean the pin, it looks like it's getting knocked over by the ball. And you're playing bowling right there on the word. And then I thought, okay, so it basically gets the idea across, right? You got the bowling ball, bowling pin, but just the last little touch to make sure people know what it is that they're seeing. I wanted to make the bowling ball stand out, so I put a little bit of an effect on it. I think I used a filter of like sponge or something. There's like a sponge filter. It gave it like that weird texture that you see when you go to bowling balls or bowling alleys, because bowling balls have weird textures. So yeah, I tried out some different textures. Got one that looks pretty similar to what you would see, and went with that. Yeah, here you can see me trying all these different ones. There's a lot that just didn't work. That wouldn't have made any sense if you had done it that way. And then eventually I landed on I'm pretty sure it was sponge from like the painting section. Yeah. Boom. Got yourself a bowling ball texture. gives it a nice little element, something you can stand out from the type with. Because you know you want it to look different. We get that it's the O, but you still want it to be its own thing, so that you're not getting it lost. And then lastly, just to have that look, to make sure you know you're bowling, you know you're at the bowling alley, you're going down a bowling alley. I brought in the line or the shape in the same color of like the wood grain basically, and it just slightly overlaps enough of the word, and it hangs down enough to where you can tell it's like, oh, it's resting on that, or it's, you know, going down that. And so, which I thought looked kind of cool. I wanted to make sure I had enough of it hanging off so it wasn't having any weird tangents. You know, if you have it like touching up against something that you don't need, it's not gonna look good. And then so from the first design that I did, I went with the neon version of the type where it had everything was connected and hooked together, because I think it just looked better. It fit nicely with the idea of the bowling alley. So these are the two final designs. What I do after I pause the recording here, I put them together on mock-ups for a couple of different things, and I'll put those here and on this screen. I think I did a t-shirt, like a bowling alley polo kind of t-shirt design, with the logo on it, and then I think I did like a wall sign mock-ups, like if you walked up to the place, what would it look like, what you would see. So I'll show you those, and that's all, guys. Thanks for watching this week's video.